Hi, my name is Alexandra Yarjo, and I am the Content and Workflow Specialist here at AJS Consulting Group. Today, I wanted to talk about one of the services that we get the most questions about, which is our grant research calendar. So today, I'm going to be answering 5 of the questions that we hear the most often. What exactly is a grant research calendar? A grant research calendar is more than just a list of opportunities. It's a custom roadmap that is organized by month. That's why it's called a calendar, that identifies funding opportunities that are exactly aligned with your organization's mission and vision and goals. It's also narrowed down and completely bespoke to you. And I've researched based on your programs, your geographic service area, your funding priorities, your organizational capacity. Um, and this document is going to help you plan ahead for your grant writing and for funding, your funding cycle, so that you are being proactive instead of reactive when it comes to grant application deadlines. Okay, how do I decide what grants to include? We don't believe every grant is worth pursuing for every organization. So we research opportunities based on your organization's mission, vision, eligibility for the award, your funding priorities, the funders' funding priorities, geographic location. A lot of funders won't give or want to specifically give to people in specific states, specific regions, specific counties, even. And also, very importantly, your organization's capacity. One question that I like to ask in our initial meeting that I schedule for all research calendars is, do you have the capacity to apply for federal grants? Because those are a lot of work. And if you don't, I won't include any of those on your grant calendar. If you don't have the capacity to do that, that's okay. There are other opportunities that are for you. I will not include any grant awards that are not right for your organization on your grant calendar. Everything that is included on your calendar, I have, vetted, and it's completely it's a good choice for you to put an application forward for. How often should grant research be updated? So the short answer is once a year. These are an annual grant calendar. You'll see that they are organized by month. However, grant opportunities do change throughout the year. We do get updates from funders very often. Sometimes deadlines change, sometimes application uh, needs change. So we recommend that you review and refresh your grant research, maybe quarterly, just kind of try to stay on top of what's going on with the grants in your calendar. If you are a retainer client for grant writing of ours with AJS, I will stay on top of the grants on your calendar so that we always know what's current. I also, for our retainer clients, I'm always keeping an eye out for things that they are eligible for or, you know, new opportunities that might come up. This one we hear all the time. Can you guarantee we'll receive grant funding? And unfortunately, no. No consultant can ethically guarantee funding for their clients. What we can do though is position you and your organization to be the most competitive you can be by identifying the strongest awards for you to apply for. And that's where this grant calendar comes in. And if you take the next step after the grant calendar and go move on to writing with us, being a writing client, um, you will get the strongest grant proposals. You'll be as ready as you can be with thoughtful, well-prepared proposals and reports for the funders to accept. Why do we need a grant calendar if we already know foundations? So, a lot of our clients come in already having a relationship with foundations and already having a good revenue stream, funding stream with foundations or with, a government grant or something like that. However, many organizations are relying on the same funders or the same grants for year after year after year. And we know that the market and, the economy as it is can be extremely volatile. So a really important strategy is to have and to build a diversified funding source. So a grant research calendar helps to build that and to identify additional grant opportunities, funding opportunities for you. And that way, your organization is not depending on a small number of opportunities or funders, and you can really have a larger scope of funding available to you. Okay, and this is a bonus question, just because I wanted to include it here for you. How far in advance should nonprofits be planning for your grants? So this is a question that almost every nonprofit gets wrong, and I totally understand because it is about organizational capacity again. So, and this is also a reason why we have an annual grants calendar instead of, just a monthly, month by month or whatever. Ideally, grant planning and, outlining should happen a few months before the application even opens. The strongest proposals aren't rushed. They are thoughtful, and organizations have time to gather documentation that you need. And ideally, you already have it together in a folder in a document, like our intake form and folder. Your message and your narrative is refined, your program data is collected, and you've built the strong relationship with the funder. That's something that we've been hearing a lot lately is that funders want to have a relationship with organizations before the ask is even made or before the grant is even submitted. Um, they want to feel like they know you before they read your grant. So it's very important to be planning ahead of time and being proactive instead of reactive. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you learned something. If you'd like to book your own grant research calendar, you can email us at info@ajsconsultinggroup.com.